This is an overview of the camera and clutch task, which involves navigating the camera in a virtual plane. It also engages the clutch function of the robot, which you can activate through the foot switch or the finger control. I'll start by demonstrating an ideal performance of the task, followed by a slowed down version explaining the various steps, and then finally the common pitfalls that most trainees fall into. I've intentionally kept the volume on so that you would be able to identify the use of the foot pedal for moving the camera and activation of the finger clutch to clutch the arms. In a few seconds, when the task loads, I will demonstrate the finger clutch. This will be accompanied by a distinct sound, as well as two fingers flashing at the 6 o'clock position in the main screen. To free up this first target, I will activate the clutch twice. Notice the swinging action of my arms in coordination with the foot pedal to move to the next target. A tiny arrow in the crosshairs direct me to the location of the next target. It is common in this exercise to be off horizon as there are no vertical or horizontal axes. To avoid this, the camera at the 12 o'clock position should serve as a guide. One of the most useful tips in this task, especially when traveling for long distances, is to keep both arms as close together as possible and move them as one unit. This avoids excessive rotation while minimizing the chance of losing the object from your grasper prior to reaching the basket. This is a slowed down version of the task to enable step-by-step instruction. Moving towards the first target forces you to raise your forearms off the armrest. You then have to activate the clutch to maintain your forearms on the armrest at all times. Here I engage the clutch twice. Moving the camera is then a three-step process. You start by moving both arms as one unit towards one end of the screen, engage the camera, and push away till you get to the other end of the screen, and you repeat that until you get to your target. Care is taken to keep instruments in view of the camera at all times, as moving instruments out of view deduct points from your final score. Try to maintain the shortest distance between both targets. When your target is in view, keep your foot on the camera pedal and then pull yourself towards the target. This allows for more purposeful movement. It is normal for the camera to be off horizon by 45 degrees. Check your horizon at regular intervals and correct it prior to moving on to the next target. Try to always grasp the object with the tip of the grasper to avoid it slipping and also give you maximum control. For the last target, I will advise you to move slowly, as most of you tend to over-rotate and miss the target. Now we'll go over a couple of things that you might encounter during your training. As I explained before, clutching is a major part of this task. Failure to clutch increases your chances of instrument collision, and as demonstrated here, lack of support of your forearm makes fine movement more difficult. Overshooting the target is also a common mistake. The trick is to find your target first and then zoom in quickly. The arrow on the crosshairs should always serve as a guide to the next target. In the last clip, I had demonstrated the ideal way to aim the crossroads on the sphere. Try to avoid excessive movement as demonstrated in this clip. Next is a clear example of moving your instruments out of the view of the camera, as seen in the right arm. The next mistake happens when you pull the camera far back into the trocar. If you are off horizon more than 90 degrees, in particular for the last target, your object will most likely fall away from the basket. In that case, you'll have to retrieve the object, adding to your time to complete the exercise. So especially for the last target, you must make sure your camera is in horizon. Once you become comfortable with the task, you may attempt to move the camera in more than one horizon. If you notice here, looking at the blue arrow, I am both moving the camera towards the target as well as rotating it in an anti-clockwise direction. To accomplish this, I maintain the blue arrow in between 2 points on the crosshairs, allowing me to travel the shortest distance in the fastest time.